Trish and Rob MacGregor welcome you to a place where all kinds of phenomena flourish. Here we meet authors, researchers, and investigators of the mysterious, the strange, and of the inexplicable anomalies that surround us. Step out of the everyday world and take a journey into the mystical underground.
Welcome to the Mystical Underground. Thank you for joining us. This is Trish MacGregor and
Rob MacGregor.
And our tech magician, Jon Posey, also known as the Disembodied Voice. You can go to mysticalunderground.com, where we make regular blog posts and where you can find out about our books. Among them are The 7 Secrets of Synchronicity, Aliens in the Backyard, Sensing the Future. Our latest book is called Mind-Blowing Synchronicities, the latest science stories and research. Trish's most recent novel, Not Quite Human, and Rob's most recent novel called Lupus, a story of mysterious beings created through deep meditation. If you're watching us on YouTube, we would appreciate it if you take a second to click the like, subscribe, and notification buttons so you never miss an episode. If you prefer to listen to the show, it's available where we listen to podcasts. Please subscribe there.
Okay, our guest today is Chris Berryman, who is an actor, director, and producer with his company, the Detroit Theater Collective. Chris also channels messages from a multidimensional collective known as the Orion Contingent. They describe themselves as explorers from near the Orion and Sirius constellation. Not invaders, but collaborators helping humanity evolve towards galactic citizenship. His first book was called The N1 Sessions. His new one, an illustrated story, is called Flying Saucer Visions, a Travelogue. Welcome, Chris.
Welcome, Chris. Good to have you back.
Hello,
Now
Trish. Hello, Rob. Yes. Yes, absolutely. It's a treat.
Disclosure Day.
Yes, I saw it last night too, just like you guys. And it's a treat to be back and to be talking to you guys.
Yeah. So I kind of liked Disclosure, except the beginning when it was kind of confusing for me because it came right after the trailers. At first I thought it was another trailer. Then I thought, oh, this isn't a trailer. And then I thought, are we in the wrong theater? This doesn't seem like Disclosure.
Turn to me and ask me, and I'm going, hey, I don't know.
I think I had that same thought during that opening wrestling match. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was just the point. I mean, if you're going to do Disclosure Day, do it in the beginning, and then show us what happens,
Or,
Well, that's it did have like a slow, they had, I knew what they were, I don't think we're giving anything away, but it's why they had that guy sort of pinned,
right.
why I knew it was going to have something to do with, some visitation or something like that.
Right.
And then looking back, I liked how they build it slowly, and how it unfolded. But I wondered, I was like, is this not the movie that I think I had that same thought? Is this not the movie that I thought it was going to be? Is this
right.
some other topic, really?
Yeah, you
Maybe
didn't know
just clothes, take off your clothes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. I thought maybe if they would have started with the woman as a child and with an abduction scene. They did have a scene later, but it might have been interesting to start it. Then you'd at least know you're in the right theater.
Yeah, well, it took a little bit. It definitely took a little bit to get moving. I really did enjoy the part that I liked the most about it was the sort of energetic, magical things that were happening. That it's not just about crashed UFOs,
Right.
that it's all the different abilities that the people had, both the
Right.
people and the other people from space. Yeah,
Yeah, she was terrific.
yeah, she was. I thought
Yeah.
Emily did a very good job. Yeah.
Yeah, and
speaking
that scene
Korean,
with-
speaking Russian.
Right, and that scene with the cop was kind of funny. That kind of scene.
Yeah, no, it was a long movie, and about halfway into it, I had to pee really bad. So I missed I rushed to the bathroom, ran back, but I think I missed one of the biggest chase special effects scene, which was that train I
Oh, you
missed the
missed that.
train.
Yeah,
I missed
that
the
was
train.
like an
that was
like an
good.
Indiana Jones scene. I tell you.
Yeah, I think I missed the Indiana Jones part, so I'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, you should see that part.
I had to pee 5 times for those 2.5 hours, so I missed a lot.
That was the problem, Trish. There were big holes in the movie that you saw in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about your upcoming book. How is this different from the N1?
Yes, and this is actually this technically was my first book, but this is a 2026 revision of Flying Saucer Visions, which is a sci-fi storybook for ages 10 and up, I say, even though adults seem to enjoy it very much as well. And it, as I talked about last time I was on this show, that it was my experience. It's inspired by my own experiences and some of my I'm not saying abduction, but just my encounters that I've had in the energetic encounters, not face-to-face encounters that I've had with in the astral, I guess you'd say, with extra-dimensional beings, which included a trip in a flying saucer. And so my main character is Christian Foster Leon. He's a young loner who has an encounter with an extraterrestrial being named N1. So N1 is in this book too. And him and his cat, the cat's name is Shockwave. They embark on a cosmic.
The cat's name.
Yeah. They go on a little adventure, and it's a story that I'd actually like it. I hope it continues. I hope I can write.
I like that he's a gray. I like he's a gray cat too.
Yeah. He's a gray cat, a gray or Gandalf the Gray. He's a very wise gray cat. Yeah.
Well, see, maybe Spielberg should do your story.
Well, I would love it. I think he might like it. I think I gotta like get it into I gotta have so it can cover 3 hours, or at least 2.5 hours. Now it would be sort of a half an hour thing, but I think I've got enough material to stretch it that far. Yeah. So that's this re-release. It's the revision. I think it appeals more to younger readers. And so I'm excited that it's I think it's out. It is on you can buy it at online retailers now, so I'm excited about that.
How is it different from the earlier version?
I think it's for the language is a little simpler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and again, to appeal to younger readers, that was my goal.
Yeah.
And the first time around, I kind of just used the conversation that I had, or changed it just a little bit, for with N1, and so now I've just sort of broken it down a little farther, and tweaked it here, tweaked it there. But I'm real pleased with this revised edition.
Yeah.
Has anyone given you any opinion about Disclosure Day?
I think the feeling I was left with a good feeling at the end. So I think I think everyone knows, and maybe even the ETs themselves know, that this is Spielberg, that he's a dream weaver of things. And, he's good at directing car chase scenes. Some friends of mine were like, yeah, there's a lot of car chase going on, but it is but I did some research because I had to educate myself a little bit. I liked it. I think the corporation in the movie is called, and it's a private company called Wardex. That the bad guy is the head of, played by the British actor who I like very much.
He was a good character.
He was great. He was great.
Yeah.
But I did some research on that, and it's I think it could be I think it is modeled after a couple real companies. The names escape me at the moment, but Northrop Grumman is one of them. But it was actually they were people were sort of saying that it's modeled after a couple other corporations who consult with the government on secretive things, military things.
Right. And
so
the history or mythology of UFOs is that it was really removed from the government itself into private corporations, and so there's some weaving between the two, but it's that's what's kept things from being disclosed, basically.
Right. And perhaps that's why Obama doesn't know anything,
Right? Yeah.
about what has gone down. And doesn't appear that Trump is terribly interested or doesn't care or whatever, but
He's got his hands full with aliens.
yeah, exactly. all sorts of aliens, all sorts of files.
Right.
Said he may be an alien as far as I'm concerned.
Well, right, highly possible. And so that I thought in the film they wove that company in a way that was believable. It wasn't totally like twirling mustaches or anything like that. It wasn't totally cloak and dagger. It seemed possible to me.
And that device,
things they held.
the device. Yeah, that was.
I want one of those.
I know. I know.
Yeah,
So
he could move into different spaces by holding it, and it basically could do whatever he was thinking about. Apparently.
Well, he could mind control people with it,
Right.
He'd realized how to mind control people with it, but I guess it was something that the ETs left behind, and because it was there was that whole wreath of them in that scene, which was kind of beautiful. That was really scary to me. And I thought the actress, I had never seen her before, at least I don't think I'd seen her before, who played the girlfriend who had been a nun. I thought she did a great job in portraying that mind control, that like desperation and like being taken. I was impressed with her a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who she was. I don't think I've seen her in a movie before.
Yeah, she looks familiar, but I don't know that I have either. Yeah.
And there's that crop circle scene, where he is out in the field and the crop circle works right around him. It was interesting. But then he gets a telephone call and he answers, and I'm like, well, these guys are after him, chasing. Can't they trace his phone? I mean, that's.
I know. I didn't know that. I didn't understand. I had that same thought too, and I didn't understand that. Like, did he get a special phone that can't be traced? There were many holes like that I had to sort of suspend my disbelief.
Right. I talked to my daughter, who's seen it twice now, and she had an explanation for that phone that she had picked up from the seeing it the second time, I guess.
Yeah. No, I had a teacher who claims that she was in a field where crop circles were forming in the moment, and so she had that experience, and she's quite a psychic, and she is a healer, and she works a lot with the indigenous tribes, and she claims to have that experience too. So that was that seemed possible to me, because that
phone call.
I don't know if she's gotten phone calls or what. I don't know if they still do you think that they still, you've mentioned that Whitley Strieber was harassed by the government, but do you think they still harass people as much with all this talk?
I think it depends on the person. Bud Hopkins got harassed quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I know that Betty Hill, we spent a weekend with Betty Hill in the late 80s, and she definitely experienced something. I mean, you spend any time with her and you totally believe anything she says,
You did believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she ran out of our condo where we were living and into the parking lot, looked up, and there it is, and we're looking up, and I see an airplane, Betty, but, she says it could be them, I mean, by that time, she had gone through so much.
60s and Travelogue and Earth.
Yeah. But
you think that they gave her a lot of problems, the government did?
Well, I think that she certainly experienced what she says she experienced. She apparently.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I'm not sure about
once the word got out.
Yeah.
Once the word got out, I think they were,
discredited,
harassed, but
Yeah.
just whatever
Yeah.
you call it.
Yeah,
they didn't want all the publicity at first because they were involved in civil rights and they wanted, they
They
had
were
that
biracial
image.
couple,
And,
too.
yeah,
and, and then suddenly, talking about a, very weird subject at that point, that there were
he
not.
worked for the Postal Service.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
So he worked for the government. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Oh, yeah. That's. I think that it is. I think if you work for the government in any form, I think there's another. They don't want you. They don't want. They want to really know what you're into and what you're representing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as Whitley goes, Whitley Strieber, he's had experiences where he's been taken or had this experience where there were military people there as well as aliens. So it's like a combination. He's written about.
Now,
that.
were they military or were they from like a quasi-military sort of
That's a good question.
corporation? But there was, just like in this Disclosure Day, there was, that company was working with generals, and they had decorated generals and everything, and they were consulting right along with them. But they're not. I liked it that they kept saying over and over again, they're not the government.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're just a company.
Yeah, we call them contractors.
Contractors. Yeah.
Okay, John, now we know your truth.
It's the official word.
Yeah, John's one of them, except he's with helicopters rather than UFOs.
Those are equally as mysterious.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what else?
And real quick,
Go ahead, Jim.
an apparent lack of helicopters in Disclosure Day, from what I hear.
Yeah, right.
There was one.
It's true.
There was one cool one, like a big military. I think they were like, it was a flashback, and I can't remember, but it was big in black.
Yeah.
Mm.
In that, I remember that. I can't remember what scene that was. I was like, "Is that a helicopter?" I was like, "I think that is," but something that the president might be in or something. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I think it was a flashback.
Yeah, like an
I don't know
old
whose
style.
flashback.
Right. Sorry.
I don't know.
There's so many.
Anybody's flashback.
And they had that scene with Nixon and Jackie Gleason too.
Oh, is that who is that was supposed to be? Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that is something that's part of the mythology that supposedly happened. That's been written about.
Well, it definitely looked like Nixon, and it looked
Nixon,
like
right?
Yeah, they obscured Gleason because he's a kind of an identifiable person. Anybody who's, I guess, over 60 years old would recognize Jackie Gleason.
And as producer, we definitely need to stop. We need to finish our review of Disclosure Day and move on to our guest.
Move on.
But we were talking about it before we started recording that if you go back to Close Encounters, it started with a Bermuda Triangle story that had been out there for a while, and the plane that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle shows up, and this one apparently starts out with the Nixon Jackie Gleason story. But anyways, interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. In that, well, just one more thing. During that part, when they brought the president, they said, "Oh, it's Nixon." At first, I thought it was going to be Eisenhower in Valiant Thor.
right.
I thought they were going to bring. I was like, "Oh yeah, I read about this," and I was excited. That I was like, "Oh, it's just Nixon and Jackie Gleason."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. There still is the Jackie Gleason Theater, I believe.
Yeah.
It still exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you learned from your most recent sessions with N1? Anything special or new that?
Well, yeah, it's there. The source is talking a lot about a few things stand out.
Disclosure Day.
Yeah, the disclosure, they're talking about that a lot, but it almost like guidance in how to dodge the hysteria of it all.
Okay.
And all of the what will be triggered by the fear of more disclosure, even the movie, the files, the footage, anything else that's happening moving forward here. definitely trying to comfort and encourage people to continue speaking their truth in this process, and also other things, talking about things like um, power zones, and that there may be sort of, again, corporations that have interests in sort of um, keeping people away from power zones for their own purposes, to harness that energy themselves, and how important it is, the power zones of Earth, whether it's Joshua Tree or Sedona, or the in Ireland, the near Stonehenge, in England, Stonehenge in Ireland, all those power spots there, Mount Fuji, all these places, that there are vortexes that are starting to open up in these spots, and they're very important for us, and for for people to connect with that energy, almost like to go there and experience it, to be in those energy zones. It will uplift us and help us to evolve. Yeah.
Well, maybe we better go there and make mass migrations to these places.
Well, you're down to, where are you? You're down in Florida.
Right.
There must be some on the East Coast of the United States. So I think there's some up in Maine. I'm not sure about, now once you get into the Caribbean, it's more of a healing energy, like a soothing, sleepy energy, it seems like to me. But maybe there are some that I don't know about.
That's the Bermuda Triangle territory too.
Oh yeah, there's that.
That's
definitely one.
And could be interdimensional vortices.
Yes.
There. Yeah.
Yes. So they're talking about that, and they're also just giving encouragement with this time, like trying to give the straight goods without starting conspiracy theories, like just to know not to get caught, like with disclosure, to not get caught in this, like, it's sort of an adolescent feeling of like, the government needs, like, blaming the government, daddy needs to cough it up, like, where with all the experiencers and people who have had encounters, like, like Betty Hill and like many other people, whether they're face-to-face contact or energetic experiences like myself, that there's so many of them, it's like disclosure has already happened. Yeah.
But when did this start for you? Your first experiences with
it started for me in, I'd say, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID. Yeah. Yep.
So
and it happened more frequently during COVID.
Oh yes, it definitely revved up right when the pandemic started. But it might have been because I had free time to notice what was actually happening, to actually have these experiences, and to not be afraid of them, and not to deny them, and not to try to shut them out. I was sort of like, I didn't have anywhere to run anymore.
Yeah. Did it start with dreams, or has it always been waking experiences?
Waking experiences. Often I could see the visions that I was experiencing better when I'd close my eyes, and if it was dark in the room, but I would see them pretty much immediately. So I was not in, no substances triggered them, and I was not asleep.
Is it?
Yeah.
And you
Did they arrive suddenly each time?
Suddenly? Did it happen suddenly? Yeah, it would be, it would start to appear, but it would happen pretty quickly. When a lot of it was when I was laying in bed. In Flying Saucer Visions, this is part of that story as well, with the little boy Christian. It would just appear like a movie screen when I close my eyes, and it built slowly. I think we talked about this before, but from machinery and geometry to portals to beings, and then eventually this sort of journey excursion on the craft that happened.
Was that astral?
I would say that it had to involve astral. It was definitely my energetic my body was still laying on the bed, but I was moving, and I was almost like I was two places at once.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Have these
Where did you go?
experiences?
Well,
Where did you go?
where did I go? Where I went, I'm not sure, but inside the spaceship, I saw a desert. It was a desert landscape, and then out into the stars. I saw stars a bit, and then it was more just sort of in consciousness. I had experience as well, hearing music, a different music. Eventually the music morphed into that song, played very slowly. The air that I breathe.
Okay.
And,
Interesting.
yeah, but I think that it was like something that I had, like they played something that I had, that I liked, that uplifted me as well. Yeah, and that's in the book, Flag Visions, as well.
So you wouldn't freak out, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
have you had any negative experiences related to your contacts?
I think a lot of people, have experienced this though, but it wasn't so much with the contact, just like when when you come in and out of sleep sometimes, I think there are entities who try to take advantage of the situation, and I've been full on assaulted before.
Yeah.
But pulling myself, it's like that, some people might just call it sleep paralysis, but I think there's more of an energetic thing going on there. And that when I got out of it by pulling myself out of the sleep state.
Yeah. So we've had someone on like 3 times, I think, a woman who had very similar experiences to you in the beginning with beings that would come and
Who are you thinking of?
Susan Yantorno.
Oh, Yantorno.
Yeah. So she has an illness where she had to, every afternoon she had to rest. She was a veterinarian, but she had to quit
And
from
she had to
big.
retire.
She had to retire. So she needed like a couple hours sleep or rest in the afternoon, and that's when these beings would come to her, and she would describe them to us in great detail. But then, just what you're saying, the negative forces interfered and basically chased away the good guys. I mean,
Really?
yeah, and it went on for 2-3 years. I mean,
Thanks.
she has recording. We played recordings of them on here, and it was pretty spooky, wouldn't you say, John?
They're very spooky.
John?
Wow.
Care of his dog.
Yeah.
He gets sick of us because we wouldn't stop talking about disclosure day. But that is real. That is so interesting. And see, okay. The beings that are the source for my books, these high experiences that I had that made me want to write about it and publish about it was these beings are, and I get from my intuition that these beings are very high, very, very evolved, very high level. Now, once the channels are open, there are other opportunistic entities that can kind of come around, and I see more now. But it's been I think I know how to protect myself a little more now, and to sort of guard myself and ground myself, and that helps a lot. But it's most of the entities that I talk about, the negative experiences that I've had, it's been more parasitic. I think there's these little entities with the red glowing eyes that might come around. Maybe you'll see them sometimes, but to me, they're just minions. They don't have any, they're just trying to get a quick scare out of you, or frighten you, or and discourage you from going forward and into the unknown, I feel. And if I see that, I'll just like
do it.
Yeah, just get out. I'm like, just go away. Like you're nothing. You bore me. And the other thing that I was talking about, entities who, try to assault you or try to assault you sexually, that has happened just on occasion. And it almost felt like I got caught in between realms, and then they seized an opportunity, but I was able to break out of it by just pulling myself up, waking myself up, and but it was certainly frightening.
Yeah, yeah.
bet.
It sounds similar to Susan. They would actually shake her bed. I think I'm not sure if it was the demonic type creatures that were shaking her bed or the beings.
Yeah, I think it was.
Which one?
Demonic.
Those ones?
Remember
Yeah.
she got a sword?
Right. Yeah. She was.
Because she bought a sword to protect herself.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and she ended up cutting herself with the
Yeah.
sword, though, accidentally.
Yeah.
You need to take a class or two, maybe.
Yeah. Right.
Sword fighting.
But the bed would be like waves, and her husband actually experienced the waves himself in the when it happened when they were both in bed. So it's it's more than just inside her head. It was something that was happening, and he's not really into it himself, to that degree.
Right. No, that's interesting. Now that terrifies me. That things like that, like things exorcist kind of things like that, do terrify me.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, there's a lot of questions right now about, even I think the vice president has said that he believes that UFOs are demons, and there was somebody that the Vatican, excommunicated who demons. Now they're I don't believe in this traditional story, Christian, I'd call it a Christian story about demons, maybe some other religions too, that there's from the devil, and that I don't believe that there is a source of negativity in the universe. But there can be parasitic behavior, there can be confusion, entities that are confused and desperate, power hungry, aggressive. And I guess we could call those demons or negative interdimensionals or whatever you want to call those. But yeah, I certainly hope that I never have an encounter with anything like that. And I hope that Susan was able to overcome whatever she was experiencing.
Do you take any protection measures before you do this?
Yeah, before I channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I do a whole regime. I do a whole, I usually take a bath first. I use tuning forks. I use a grounding technique. It's an extension of the grounding technique that's in the N1 sessions. I call in my spirit guides, and I have a deal with them that if anything starts to move in that isn't a wisdom source, a source of wisdom and light and love, to alert me, and we'll pull the plug. And that seemed to have that has worked quite well for me so far. There's a couple other things I do too, but I think it is important to ground and sort of buffer yourself against anything. And I think to know what your motives are, I think that's really important too. Like, why am I doing this in the first place? And for me, it's to finish the conversation, to let beings from high sources speak right now, for inspiration, so people can read it and take what they want from it, but which I think will probably be inspiration.
So
yeah.
what is the form of N1 and the group? Are they like a human type form?
Some of them are human, so I guess you'd say galactic human. Animal like N1, he's a Sirian. His roots are from the Sirius constellation. Some are non-human. Some are amphibian. There are just a few reptilians in the contingent. And there was even one gray looked like a gray that I saw float by in purple who just had this like radiant smile. If a gray can smile, I don't know if they can, but I just wanted to pinch his little cheeks. And but so there might be one or two zetas in there. A lot of Orion humans, Orion beings, which there's quite a range of beings from Orion. And there are also in the non-physical, almost like the ancestors of this group, there are some felines as well. And some little
Big
blue
felines.
beings. Yeah, like tall felines. And they had on white and blue spacesuits that I've seen. But they were definitely like in an etheric form as opposed where they were a little bit different from the other beings. And there were also some very, very small blue beings who were it felt like they were very intelligent, and they were also sort of like ancient ancestors of this contingent.
Where are they just like float around, or what do they do?
Well, this was an experience that I had, and I saw them. I actually went there, and I saw them there. Then I saw the humans and the sort of amorphous. There's a picture in the N1 sessions of one of the beings too, and there's somewhere sort of that race, and they were in a room, but the feline beings, I could sort of see through them almost, so I knew that they were like in a non-phys. They were in a different. They were there in spirit, where they were in a different realm, from a different realm than the other beings were.
Yeah, so they might be light beings, but they could also have physical bodies as well, right?
Well, they're light beings. Most of this contingent, they're light beings who exist in a non-physical realm, but they have the ability to move down into a physical realm.
Yeah, on another planet.
Move into a planetary. There's a planet that they have a physical base, a small physical base on, and they use that when they want to come into the physical. And that I'm told that they have also been here, but they may have been here. I'm not sure what form they were in when they were on this planet. Maybe they might have to come here in more of an holographic form to exist here for extended periods of time.
You need to take your camera with you. Snap photos.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be.
I'd love that. Yeah.
So why you? Why did they come to you? Do you think? Would they give you an explanation of why you were? I mean, I wouldn't say the word chosen, but people who have abducted might be chosen too, but they don't like the want to be chosen. But
I think that this is it. I do get asked this. I think I probably signed up for something, someplace, sometime. I probably have some connection with this group before I came here in this body. I don't have any proof of that. And I also, but I looking at how things lined up, I happened to be available living by myself during the pandemic and have all this free time. And so it all lined up. Maybe perhaps that was perhaps that was predestined as well.
You were convenient.
It was all very convenient, How convenient. Yeah.
Get him, he's by himself.
Yeah. I was basically available to take notes.
So no childhood experiences that you can recall or
nope, nothing like Disclosure Day.
Okay.
that I remember. I remember. No, I didn't. I didn't really start having experiences till I was in my mid to late 40s. Yeah. And but I did. The only thing I remember as a kid is, and I think I said this before, but just during Mass, just from the ritual, the bells, the candles, the music during Mass is sort of trancing out. Mm-hmm. When that ritual type stuff was going on, and that happened pretty easy, but I don't remember seeing any aliens or anything like that. But a lot of people,
that's a good thing to do in Mass.
Yeah, I don't.
I would
go to sleep.
You're right. I was always looking for spirits when I was a kid too in the Catholic churches. And one time I had, like in summer school, I had a chance to go behind the altar, I was really looking there,
Oh.
I was disappointed though.
Were you an altar boy?
That wasn't an altar boy,
Oh,
no.
good.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Saw spirits in a confessional.
Really?
Yeah.
Kind of crowded in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but I used to go to those confessionals. I didn't know what to say, so I used to make up sins. I finally asked my dad. I said, "Dad, what am I supposed to say?" He says, "Oh, just
like a child is has all these sins they need to confess.
Right.
yes, exactly."
Yeah. I had a drunk priest once in confession, and it was just, I didn't understand what was wrong with him at the time, but as I got older, it was pretty clear what was going on. And it was, and that's when I was just finally thought, this is a joke. Like, I don't, even though a lot of people might get a sense of relief from confession. If they do, that's fine. But,
It's just a pain.
One experience I remember was being in the parking lot outside the church. I was not sure what I was doing there. I was in my young to middle teens, and they had a new priest, a younger guy, and he kind of came on to me. Wow, I think I got to go now.
Well, yeah, that's why I asked if you were an altar boy, because I hope you avoid that type of experience. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's isn't that sad?
Yeah, it really is.
Sad thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you were in your pajamas. Talking about. Oh well.
Yeah. Okay, so what's next for you coming up?
Well, I'm working on several things. I'm almost done with the story, the story part, the written part of a graphic novel called Space Twins, which is sort of a coming of age story. I am continue to write screenplays, do that. And I'm also compiling, like we talked about, the more of this N1 material. And that's the stack. The stack is growing. It's quite large, getting quite large now. May I read just one short little?
Oh, sure.
Snippet?
Love to
Right.
hear.
Yeah.
Switch my glasses. Now, I thought I did. This is just a brief thing, but this is the source is excited about how deep the paranormal podcasts are, like your podcast. What's happening, the conversations that are happening on these podcasts. And they mentioned it in a recent one. This was actually from earlier this spring. As you discover your next level abilities, create advanced forums on the established alternative podcasts. Set up astute panels designed to transcend past discussions for fresh discovery. Use the possibility of rebuttal. This will lead to deeper conclusions on a variety of subjects. You have the tools. It frustrates us to watch the ducks lined up, so to speak, but a final lit match is needed to get the engine going. It is a matter of fear. You may be terrified to discover the keys that will actually trigger awakening.
Now, did this come through M1?
Yes. Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you're sitting on a gold mine, is what that says to me. What could because it's so unfiltered, and it's people are starting to get very brave in what they're sharing and what they feel that they can share on podcasts like this.
Right.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, there's no reason not to share.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's and then people, like you said, like disclosure, like there's not as much fear of
Right.
someone coming to arrest you or
And-
knock on your door or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I
not so
hope.
much, yeah, and not so much of the giggle effect of mentioning
Yeah.
something about UFOs. It's taken more seriously, and that's one of the developments in the last several years with the military being now they at first you could get in trouble if you reported seeing a UFO. Now they're asking for that material to
Yeah.
presented if
What do you
it
mean you
happens.
could get in trouble? Who got in
Yeah.
trouble for reporting a UFO?
Like someone in the military, like a pilot.
Oh, somebody in the
Uh,
military.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It
thought you
could
meant just a normal
no,
person.
it could damage their career for
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the same it still might be true for military employees of any kind too. Like I think you have to sign they have to know about everything that you're talking about or you're involved in.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the government and the military have gotten much more interested in it because they realize that there's been so many experiences that have happened near military sites with
Yeah.
nuclear material, and so that has opened the doors
difference.
somewhat. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yes, that those that the craft has come very close to military bases, and even did you tell me, Rob, that they've even shut it down, like, or maybe that was nuclear plants where they've done that.
There has been, I think one in Montana, I think, was actually shut down for a number of hours. That happened, so that obviously is something that would make people move beyond the total skeptic
Yeah.
view to that.
Well, there's a lot less
Absolutely.
skepticism.
Going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, now that it's coming out so much, I think that people who are skeptic or want to laugh it off are like it's almost like they can't, or
Yeah,
or
they're not
it's
laughing anymore.
yeah. So I like that is on the table.
Yeah, so I think a lot of that was disinformation that was put out too, that made put it out in a way that made it seem ridiculous. Anybody who saw or reported anything, and that was kind of brought out in disclosure too, where they were moving. They had the corporation, was doing everything in order to keep it private, keep it secret.
Yeah, and including murdering people if
Right,
necessary. But I think that's probably happened too.
Yeah. So
I don't know that. I don't have any proof of that, but that's just me speculating. But I think there's that violence has they have the means to that.
Generally, though, attitudes have changed. I remember when I was 15, I was in boarding school in Massachusetts. We were in this girl's room after lights. We're supposed to be there. And I look out the window. I saw a UFO. I said, look. Everybody looks. They said, what? Nobody else saw it. I said, that's a UFO. So anyway, the next morning I went down and told the woman who was, like the woman of the house. I saw a UFO. I saw a UFO. And she goes, oh, Trish. I thought, yeah, they do, lady. So I mean, things have changed a lot since then.
Yeah. Have you had a lot of experiences like that of seeing UFOs?
That was my first.
That was your first.
I had one when I was very clearly remember this. I was 9 years old, and I lived on this dead end street, and there's like 6 houses there, and a lot of kids in the neighborhood, and we'd always play, different games after the sun went down, and then as it got dark, all the kids were called back by the parents to go back inside, but this time everybody is gone except me, and my parents didn't call me in. So I was standing there in the middle of the road, and I just wondering how long I could stay out here in the dark, and that's when I looked up and saw all of these lights, blue, green, red, moving around. Like there were a lot of them, and just different patterns. So I just watched that, and then I went in and told my father about it. and the next day he said he heard on the radio that there was UFOs sighted. So he said, you did see something,
That's really interesting. Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
You got confirmation. Oh, I got
No.
ridicule.
Right, yeah. Now, if I have no idea of anything happening to me during that time at all, I mean, it just seemed like the normal, time passing, and it wasn't like I disappeared for hours or anything. I just, went home, and that was it, but but I can still see what they look like, the moving around, the colors, and
The craft itself,
well,
not the beings inside. But
no, I don't see it as really being one craft, because it was a lot of small lights of different colors and moving around in different patterns.
Yeah, and that's the thing right now, which they're talking about. Oh, a lot of this is just military, top secret military craft that they're trying out, and it's not. And though some of it certainly might be that, but like we don't really even know what craft from other worlds would look like. Like it could be more like a beam of light or a geometric light show or something. Like it might not fit the traditional picture of a flying saucer.
And real quick, Disembodied Voice of Jon, real quick. Well, number one, Trish and Rob, I mean, you guys have seen the video that I took at Mesa back in the day.
Right.
But I worked at this long time ago, worked at a warehouse driving a forklift, and I was working late, and long story short, they closed the gates. I couldn't get my car out, so I had to call a friend to come pick me up. I had to climb the gate to get out, and a friend to come pick me up. And while I was standing there waiting on my friend to come pick me up, I'm looking up in the sky, and I spotted something, and it was, when I was looking, when I initially started looking at it, I was like, yeah. I mean, it was positioned in the sky, could have been a star, could have been a planet, could have been anything, but the lights were, there were lights, there was a center light and lights changing around it. And in mine, when I first looked up, I was like, yeah, it's, this is like tail lights or whatever, it's just that this was a singular, whatever it was a singular thing that was blinking on and off. And then when my friend got there, I was like, hey, come over here, look at this. And he's like, dude, no, those things are moving around. And when he said that, I was like, no, you're right. That, yeah, it wasn't like it was some central object with blinking lights. There were lights moving around the object. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too, the lights like that.
So would that have been like one UFO and then other?
Good question. Who knows?
Yeah.
What it was,
Yeah. So
but it was what my friend, when he looked up, he was like, nope, those are not lights on the central object. Those are lights that are revolving around, disappearing behind the back of, and then reappearing. And I was like, yeah, you got a good point. That is what it looks like. Yeah. Now that you point that out.
Then Trish and I had experience once coming back from, I think we're further up north in Stewart.
We were coming back from Jupiter. How's that for
I think we were in Stewart, but we were coming back through Jupiter when we saw the lights. And at first I thought maybe this is like a radio tower of these red lights. But then looking, and then there was an opening, like a field that I pulled into, and there are all these red lights moving around.
And there was another guy there.
Yeah, a guy on
Walking.
a guy on a
I'm seeing UFOs.
Yeah,
Wait
he-
for the phone.
yeah he was on a motorcycle, and he'd seen it too and pulled over, and he was really freaked out by it.
So he saw it too. Okay, that's
Yeah, so
that's good to
Yeah.
verify it like that. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't take any pictures, which was stupid.
but you know, I don't know what it was, but it you know, there sometimes parties, they have these Chinese lamps, you know, or they lanterns, you know, and they float them up. But I don't know. They usually drift off, and these seem to just stay in the area they're floating around. And I don't know if it was like Chinese lanterns or actual UFOs. I don't know.
Well, it seems like you would,
Chinese.
right? Yeah, it doesn't seem like you would know if they were Chinese lanterns. But the thing about, like, you didn't take any pictures, the reason might be that this seems like there's so many UFOs appearing now. It's just because it's so easy to just whip out your phone and take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that actually came through the material too. Like, they've been there all along. You're just noticing it more, or it's easier to photograph them. You know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
The thing with the photos that exist, you know, if it's blurry, it seems to be okay. That must be a real one. But if it's real clear, that's got to be fake. You know.
AI is not helping with that at this point. Yeah. So
Yeah. Right.
That scene where everybody's looking at their cell phones.
Oh yeah.
iPads,
Right near, yeah.
that was great.
Yeah. When during the actual disclosure. Yeah. When everybody everywhere was, and the woman who was moderating one
Emily.
of the other woman. You know.
The Rosemary, the Catholic.
No,
Or the
remember-
lady from the network.
Yeah, the network.
Yeah.
We just, you know, it had all this stuff. You know, she's talking about the end of the world, or the World War III, and then suddenly she has to put that aside because there's something even more strange.
Yeah, and
Totally confused.
I loved. I also, in that same scene, I also loved how they said, "Is this AI? Is this AI?" Like, they were like,
Right,
"No,
yeah.
no, it's verified. It's not AI."
Yeah.
'Cause that's this obviously that's with everything.
Yeah.
Now. We can't. It's so hard to tell what it is. and what it
That
does.
seemed to be very realistic. You know, that's
Yeah.
the studio.
Yeah, they had to have that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great having you again,
Yeah.
Chris.
This was
Good
wonderful.
talking to you.
Just chatting with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll have you back
You
again.
and Whitley Strieber.
That would be
He come out.
fantastic.
We just
Yeah.
have to find a date.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be good.
It would
Yeah,
work for both. of you.
Sounds like be a good conversation. Yeah.
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 It really strange, but that's what we like.
Yeah. Yeah. I like strange conversations.
So do we.
Have you gotten on many radio shows or podcasts?
Yeah. I think this is my 20th.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe
Maybe
2022, considering the first book coming out. But yeah, I'm beginning to, enjoy it more as it goes along.
Right. Do you come across skeptical people that really question?
Only on sometimes they feel like, I know they're not skeptical, but they just have to say it for the skeptics who are the listeners.
Yeah.
No, and that was particularly true what was on a talk radio Europe. But immediately after, but I think it went pretty well, and I think it's healthy to ask those skeptic questions.
Yeah,
I think
right.
it's doesn't bother me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is
Sorry.
great. I'll send you the link, Chris.
Okay. Sounds fantastic. Have a good evening.
John.
Okay.
You too.
Yeah.
And and be well.
Stay in touch.
Stay in touch for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great talking
Thank
to you
you.
again.
Great talking to you. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for joining the Mystical Underground. Visit www.themysticalunderground.com for the latest blog post and book info. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Listen to the podcast at podcast.themysticalunderground.com. Follow Trish and Rob on Instagram at Trish and Rob MacGregor. follow us on Twitter at The Mystic Cast. Send email to podcast@themysticalunderground.com. And until next week, thank you for listening and stay mystical.